The decision to watch porn and how to decide again. I'm Dr. Trish Lee. Stay with me in this video because I'm going to break down 3 aspects of decision making as it applies to consuming pornography. Then, number 4 is your brain tip strategy for the day. I want these videos to be actionable, so stay with me until the end so you know how to take a new action step. And in the middle, I'm going to tell you a story, hopefully to make it gel. Okay, so let's get started. Number 1, what is a decision? A decision is a conclusion that you reach based upon a belief. So when we make all decisions, it's because we have beliefs and values in us that compel us or move us in the direction of that decision. And that's how it goes for all decisions. I want you to know that. I want you to think about that because it's an interesting concept. So then what follows a decision? After the decision, depending upon the belief that you made it with, is a consequence or an outcome. So if the decision that you made is founded on guilt and shame, it leads to suffering always. If the decision that you made is based on integrity and honesty, it leads you to freedom. So I want you to know that too. So when you make the decision to consume pornography, it's based upon guilt and shame. We know that from the science. And the more you consume pornography, the more guilty and the more the shame builds up. And that leads to suffering. And from the science, we know that the suffering ends up physically in erectile dysfunction, mentally in anxiety and depression, general malaise, lack of motivation. Cognitively, or in terms of thinking, it ends up in brain fog and lack of focus and attention. Suffering shows up. In your relationships, it ends up in strain with your partner, with your honey, with your children, with your friends. Suffering shows up when you make the decision based on guilt and shame. So, here's the question for you for today, and this is number 3. What is the goal of the decision that you're making? So we know that what happens in your brain when you go back into the screen is that you end up making decisions based upon short-term gain, long-term loss. What happens in your brain because of the way that it's rewired from consuming pornography is that it just wants the dopamine hit quickly without having to work for it. So you go to the easy button to get instant relief from the suffering that porn is actually creating. And it becomes a vicious cycle. So what I want for you, the goal that I want for you is peace and happiness. What is peace? Peace is the feeling and the state of a quiet mind that you can hear and feel your authentic self within you. You are here in the middle, medium speed, where your brain wants to wake up each day because you're so on purpose in your work and your relationships and your hobbies. So the state of peace is what I want for you. And peace can only be reached through a decision that is based on integrity and honesty. You see where I'm going with this, right? So in order to be able to have that peace, you have to decide again. And I am going to share your brain tip with you in just 1 second, but I want to tell you a story. It's simple and it doesn't have to do with much, but I think it might show what I'm talking about here is that, okay, so this happened yesterday. We're going tiny living this weekend. My friend has a tiny house, which they're super cool, but honestly, they're ironically very expensive to rent. So we're going tiny living in a tiny house village. Very cool. So all of my kids are supposed to come. You know, I have 5 kids and my 4 older ones are teenagers. So we planned this like a year ago, and comes this weekend, they all have something going on. So they don't want to go. And my husband says, they're going. Family trip, they are going. And I'm like, let's pump the brakes on this and let's inspect the belief and the thought system that we're basing this on. We're basing it on the programming that we received as kids. If there was a family trip planned, you're going. It literally doesn't matter. If you're going to be miserable and torture us the whole time, you're going. So we both grew up in families of 6 kids, just like our beautiful 6 children. So I said, let's just think about this. You know, my oldest is 18. My second is almost 18. So they're adults and, you know, they can choose not to come. And actually, my son, he's so cute. He texted me. He's like, I don't want dad to be mad at me over my choice. And, you know, I never asked them if they wanted to come on this trip. I just signed us up for it. Family trip, kids. So here's the point, is that I inspected our programming from childhood. And I said to the hubs, I said, maybe we should give them choice if they want to come. And, you know, of course, it was a longer discussion than that. But in the end, we allowed them to make their choice. One's going to homecoming. One has this event that's not happening again. So we allowed them to make a choice. Anybody looking for a tiny house this weekend? Call me because we have an extra one. But so the point is, I had to peel that back and go, you know what? That's the programming from my parents. I don't even believe that. I don't want people coming on a trip that don't want to be there. So all the kids said that we'll go hiking because we planned on going hiking as a family, which my hubs was really looking forward to. We made a plan to go hiking around here in the beautiful mountains of North Carolina, closer to us. And you know what? Easy peasy, but it wouldn't have been if we didn't inspect the thought system. So here's your brain tip for the day, number 4. The brain tip is be willing to question and inspect and dissect every single belief that you have, because we know most of our beliefs are programmed into us. Mother, father, preacher, teacher. Our beliefs were put into us by our parents, by our religion, by our community, by our education. Some of those beliefs might not be serving you anymore. And I've been inspecting them and dissecting them for about the last 30 years too. Many people in my life dismay, if you know what I mean, but it's that important. So I want you to do that today. So especially when it comes to consuming pornography, peel it back a couple layers. Why are you watching porn? Is it you've just got in this rut, in this habit, and it's an addiction, so it might not be easy for you to be able to come out of this without support, but you can make the decision to commit, and you can make the decision to take different action steps each day. That's why I have them here in the videos, because when you decide to act again and to decide again, you choose a new path for yourself. Literally choosing a new neural pathway that's going to rewire your brain in the right direction. That is what I want for you, because the new neural pathway, when you decide out of integrity and honesty, guess where it leads you? It leads you to peace. And there is nothing better than peace. If you haven't had it, I want you to have it. Once you have it, you will try so hard to keep it forever because it's delicious. There's literally nothing better than it. So let's go for that today, okay? All right, if you need help on this journey, please reach out to me, drtrishlee.com. I have programs in different shapes and sizes, one that will serve you so that you can get on purpose and move towards your full potential and start rocking out the life that you love and the one that you deserve. Okay, until next time, control your brain or it'll control you.